So here's the LG V10 box. It says here it's made in Korea in Korean language. This is the Korean LG 600L model. Also, this is the brown beige color. All right, let's open up the box. The inner box flips open. Inside, you'll find the LG V10. Boom shakalaka, baby. Looking great. Also in the box is a set of earbuds called Quad Beat 3. A battery. This is the 3000 milliamp hour capacity. And also you'll find the micro USB cable and AC adapter. The AC adapter is rated for 9 volts at 1.8 amps or 5 volts at 1.8 amps. So this is a charger with Quick Charge 2.0 technology. Let's unbox the Quad Beat 3 earbuds. Inside you'll find nice earbuds with metallic color, with slightly slanted angles, and very clicky volume buttons and play button. And the earbuds come with rope style wires, so it will be durable when you tug on it, and it's also tangle free. Let's de-virginize the LG V10, pop the cherry, and we'll insert my AT&T Nano SIM card and the battery. And let's power it up, baby. The LG V10 comes with a Snapdragon 808 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, 5.7-inch 1440p screen with a secondary screen, 16 megapixel back camera with laser focus, 2 5 megapixel front cameras, 3000 milliamp hour removable battery, micro SD card slot, and a nano card SIM slot. The new LG V10's design is more or less rugged, features stainless steel rails on the sides with textured hard plastic back cover, which helps you hold the phone and does not get any fingerprints. While the LG V10 design doesn't look pretty as the Note 5, it is more practical and functional in my opinion, and I'd rather have a practical design than a pretty looking glass back that I would need to use a case anyways. As for size, the LG V10 is slightly taller and wider than the Note 5 and much narrower and shorter than the Nexus 6. While the Nexus 6 is a huge phone and a bit over the edge, the LG V10 feels great in the hands just like the Note 5. If you're worried about the size, trust me, LG V10 is a tad bigger than the Note 5 and you won't feel a difference if coming from a Note 4 or Note 5. While I felt the size would be too big before I got the phone, I'm glad that it doesn't feel too big at all in real life testing. Compared to the LG G4, the LG V10 is slightly bigger phablet device in the same class as the 5.7-inch Note 5. If you like the size of the Note 5, you'll love the LG V10 also. So, LG V10 is the bigger, badder brother of LG G4. What are some of the new features? First, LG V10 comes with a fingerprint sensor located on the back of the phone on the power button itself. I was able to register both of my index fingers and the fingerprint sensor works very well. To use it, simply press on the power button and you'll be able to easily unlock the phone, and this worked flawless for me as the fingerprint sensor worked every time, no hit and misses. I really like how this is a natural position you hold the phone, and the fingerprint sensor location is just perfect for people who don't like using the extra muscles of their thumb. I mean, with the Note 5 it's sort of annoying and you can drop your phone more easily, while the natural position of LG V10 allows unlocking without losing control of the phone. I've been very fond of the power button location on LG smartphones ever since I got the LG G3 couple years back, and with the LG V10 you'll be able to experience the same great location, except now it'll also read your fingerprint and unlock your phone. Second, LG V10 comes with a secondary screen that's always on and allows you to read your notifications or access your recent apps. I find this actually very handy over the S6 Edge and the Edge Plus, as you can read your notifications in landscape mode. With the S6 Edge, I felt the notifications were a bit hard to read, but with the LG V10, your notifications can be easily read and stay out of your main screen. This becomes very useful when you receive notifications when you're playing a game. You don't have to interrupt what you're doing and still be able to read your messages. The secondary screen also gives you access to your recent apps all of the time. For example, if you want to switch to another app while using Twitter, you can do it in one tap instead of hitting the recent apps button then launching that app. You can even customize the secondary screen with your custom app shortcuts, music player controls, contacts, and even your calendar. Android OS gives you notifications on the top of the screen by default, which can be annoying at times. By having a dedicated screen separate from the main screen, the LG V10's secondary screen becomes much more useful. Also, when using the video camera, you can use the secondary screen for zoom, which makes zoom 10 times more useful as you get super accurate control of zooming. When the screen is off, the secondary screen remains on, so you can easily read your notifications without turning the whole screen on, saving you a ton of battery life and time. And the shortcuts are very useful as you can easily swipe to mute your phone, toggle Wi-Fi, turn on flashlight, or even access your camera. Third, probably the biggest improvement over the LG G4 is in the camera department. The camera is same as the one found on the G4, but software features have dramatically improved. The 16 megapixel rear camera now is able to record in full manual mode at 4K UHD 64 megabits per second on its highest bitrate setting. Unlike LG G4's 4K recording at 30 megabits per second, the V10 records at more than double 64 megabits per second. This is actually the highest bitrate for 4K video recording on a smartphone so far, much higher than Note 5's 48 megabits per second. You can also change the bitrate to 30 or 48 megabits per second for longer recording times. The manual mode now comes with full controls for ISO from 50 to 2700, shutter speed control, manual focus, and even 3 microphones with directional control. This means you can set the microphone to the front of the phone, to the back of the phone, any way you want it, along with wind filter. There's even an audio meter followed by resolution setting, white balance, exposure meter, ISO, shutter speed, all the features that a pro videographer would want in a smartphone 4K camera. For people who are serious about using a smartphone as a full-fledged 4K camcorder, the LG V10 simply kills everything else out on the market today. Like the LG G4, you can also access the camera by double pressing on the volume down button. Still photos haven't changed much from the LG G4, but they're one of the best out there, and you can surely expect some high quality action shots using its laser focus along with great low light shots and its f1.8. The fastest lens still out there for a smartphone. For front camera, the LG V10 has two 5 megapixel cameras that can act as a stitched up wide angle camera for both photos and videos. There's also even multiple view camera mode that allows you to take photos and videos with all 3 cameras. I don't find this feature as useful and it seems gimmicky, but the wide angle front camera I like. The wide angle view is actually about the same as the one found on the Note 5. I think it may have been better to just implement one front camera. The 2 cameras honestly feel a bit gimmicky, but it does serve its purpose, I guess. Fourth, the LG V10 comes with a 3000 mAh battery along with a micro SD card slot. Battery life is plenty for all-day use, and I would say it's not as good as the Note 5, perhaps an hour or 2 of less screen on time. I would highly recommend picking up an extra battery and charge it on Amazon for 20 to 30 bucks for power users. While battery isn't all that great for a 5.7-inch device, having a removable battery option certainly makes up for it. In my opinion, having a removable battery and micro SD card is an absolute must for a phablet device, and LG V10 kills Note 5. If you want to record hours of 4K videos, the LG V10 will be able to do it, while the Note 5 will require to use a USB power bank, and you'll have to offload your videos when it fills up. The LG V10 also has 64 gigs of internal storage, which is plenty for most people, never mind the micro SD card slot. If you want to use your smartphone as portable storage, you can grab a 2TB micro SD card, a giant leap ahead of Samsung Note 5 and Nexus 6P. Fifth, the LG V10 comes with an IR blaster. Controlling your TV with your smartphone is certainly a feature all of you couch potatoes like myself appreciate. I use this all the time to control my living room and bedroom TV, so I am so glad LG left the option, unlike Samsung Note 5. Shame on you. Sixth, LG V10 doesn't have wireless charging, but it does support Quick Charge 2.0, so you can recharge your phone from 0 to 100% in just an hour. LG is obviously working on a quick cover case, so you can add wireless charging later down the road. Seventh, the LG V10 comes with latest Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. While it isn't the most versatile UI out there, it's pretty zippy and you won't see much lag with its 4 gigs of memory. LG G4 has been pretty good with RAM management, and with 4 gigs of memory instead of 3 gigs found on the G4, the V10 should be a pleasant, fast experience for most of you. 8. The 1440p screen on the LG V10 isn't as bright as on the Note 5. I'm getting about 400 nits on my light meter at its brightest setting, but it shouldn't affect normal usage unless you're getting a tan outdoors all the time. Now let's talk about what's missing with the LG V10. Do you suck? Like the OnePlus 2, the speakers aren't loud at all. I record about 98 decibels on my sound meter, and if you want to enjoy loud sound on your phone or use as a speakerphone, the LG V10 may be one of the worst choices this year. Of course, if you don't mind using earbuds or wireless headsets, this shouldn't pose a big problem, as then you'll be able to make use of its 32-bit jack for high quality sound, plus the Quad B3 earbuds it comes with is really nice with great sound and bass. Overall, LG V10 is a great alternative to the Note 5 if you don't need to have an S Pen, and absolutely need removable battery or micro SD card option. The performance isn't as good as the Note 5 in benchmarks, but you won't notice huge difference unless you're playing games all day long. If I had one definite reason to buy the LG V10 over other smartphones, it is its 4K camera along with full manual mode. It has higher ISO range than the Note 5. The LG V10 simply has better 4K video recording than any other smartphone in my opinion, especially if you want to fiddle with the shutter speed and ISO to get those perfect cinematic shots. If I had to choose one smartphone for 4K video recording, this would definitely be the one. And that's my review of the LG V10, but I'll have an updated review after I use it for another few weeks, perhaps highlighting some problems that may happen over time. But for right now, this is a great phablet device. I would say it's just as good as the Note 5 and better in some ways. And thanks for watching my review. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram, Periscope, and as always, stay